There's no doubt it's cheaper and easier than ever before to produce high quality video content with the introduction of high definition cameras, solid state recording and affordable editing software. There is a danger, however, in assuming that technology can do all the work in terms of making a good video. Alongside having all the equipment, there are still essential skills such as lighting, composition and editing that need to be learned. If substandard material is put out, then it actually can do more damage than good in terms of the way the university is presented. Here are three basic elements that should be considered. So this is me lit reasonably well with reasonably good quality audio. It's a bit echoey in here, it's a bit of an empty room, and with the composition much as you'd have it if you're having an interview with the eye lines just off camera. Sound is probably the most overlooked element of video production, and without good quality sound your video just won't feel professional. As a general rule, using the onboard microphone from the camera is a bad idea, so an additional lapel or boom mic is essential. So this is an example of the same setup, but without the lapel mic on, just using the onboard microphone from the camera, and hopefully you can hear it doesn't sound quite so good. Lighting is a real art and something that takes time to get good at. It's difficult to do the topic justice here as whole books have been written about it. But things to be considered include trying not to mix different temperatures of light, so say sunlight and tungsten bulbs inside, and trying to add depth to a shot by lighting the background as well as the subjects in the foreground. So this is the worst case scenario in terms of lighting and audio. I'm using the onboard microphone from the camera, I'm not using the power mic, and I'm just using the lights from the room. So if I just brought the camera into the room and hadn't mic'd the interviewee up or put any lights up, this is the kind of quality of material you'd be recording. Similar to lighting, composition is an art form basically, and there are various theories about how elements should be composed in the frame. As a general rule for interviews, you are looking to have the subject looking just to the left or right of the camera, or it will look like he or she is staring into the far distance. So this is an example of a poor composition. The eye line of the interviewee, i.e. me, is basically looking in the wrong direction to where you'd expect it to be. You'd expect the interviewee to be looking across the camera to the interviewer over there. So there's a big wide space to my right, which doesn't really make sense in terms of the composition of the shot. I mean, you could frame it like this, but I think in general this would look a little bit odd to most people. Length is critical in terms of keeping an audience engaged with a video. We live in the age of YouTube, and people are used to digesting videos that are no longer than 3 to 4 minutes in length. The longer a video goes on, the harder you need to work in terms of keeping people engaged. Making videos is still relatively resource heavy in terms of time, and therefore it's important to consider whether what you're planning to film is best suited to this form of presentation. Two key questions to ask in this regard are: is the video going to have a large audience or have the potential to be viewed multiple times? And two, is there scope for making the video visually engaging? If the answer to one or both of these questions is no, then making a video might not be the most suitable approach and ultimately might be a waste of your time. In addition to equipment and training requirements, there are several other factors that need to be considered when making videos in the university context, as follows. Music in particular is something that needs to be considered, and you can't use music unless it has been properly licensed or is royalty free. Similarly, any third-party photos or video content needs to be cleared by the owners before being used.